Welcome to Fantastic Vision. Please subscribe us before you watch today's video. Recently, a shocking scene occurred on the coast of Hokkaido, Japan. A large number of sardine carcasses floated on the sea, forming a death zone hundreds of meters long. After expert investigation, it was discovered that these sardine carcasses were floating from the nuclear sewage discharge site. This phenomenon not only poses a huge threat to Japan's marine fishery resources, but also poses a serious crisis to the survival of human society. Sardines are a very important species in the marine ecosystem. They are a key link in the food chain and are of great significance to maintaining the balance of the marine ecosystem. However, despite the opposition of the international community, Japan insisted on discharging more than 23,000 tons of nuclear sewage into the sea, causing serious deterioration of the marine environment and causing the death of a large number of sardines. The consequences of this behavior are immeasurable. It not only brings a serious blow to the livelihood of fishermen, but also causes serious damage to the entire marine ecosystem. In short, the Japanese government discharged nuclear wastewater into the sea for its own selfish interests, regardless of the opposition of other countries. This short-sighted approach has brought serious consequences to the marine ecosystem. The mass death of sardines is just one of them, and more creatures may face threats to their survival. This is not only damage to Japanese fishery resources, but also serious damage to the global marine ecological environment. The Japanese government is willing to do whatever it takes to discharge pollution, which has brought unbearable consequences to itself. For its own selfish interests, the Japanese government insists that there is no problem with the discharge of nuclear wastewater, and even tries to whitewash and defend it. However, facts speak louder than words. Among the sewage workers at the Fukushima Daiichi nuclear power plant in Japan, more than 4 people have suffered from nuclear radiation, and their body functions have been severely damaged. This is undoubtedly a direct consequence of nuclear sewage. At present, the Japanese government has discharged 23,000 tons of nuclear sewage, causing unprecedented damage to marine resources. The existing nuclear wastewater storage capacity is as high as 1.3 million tons, and Japan plans to gradually discharge it over 30 years. If all these 1.3 million tons of nuclear sewage are discharged cleanly, the survival of the Japanese people will be in jeopardy. It is worth noting that China has completely banned the import of Japanese seafood from the moment Japan discharged nuclear sewage. Even Japan's so-called allies, the United States and the European Union, are privately restricting imports of Japanese seafood. This move not only had a major impact on Japan's economy, but also put pressure on the Japanese government's behavior. It can be seen that the Japanese government will pay a heavy price for its selfish actions. Destruction of the ecological environment will inevitably lead to retribution. The damage to the ecological environment will not be ignored by any party, and the price paid is also painful. From the source of nuclear sewage discharge to surrounding residents, to the mass death of sardines, more and more creatures in Japan are facing survival crises. No matter how much the Japanese government tries to justify and whitewash, it cannot change the consequences of the mistakes they made. As the Japanese media said, "Is this retribution for Japan?" Retribution is unavoidable. If the Japanese government still insists on going its own way, and does not want to repent, then all countries in the world should unite and impose sanctions on Japan's behavior. This is not only to maintain the stability of the global marine ecological environment, but also to protect the common interests of human society. In short, for its own selfish interests, the Japanese government discharged nuclear wastewater into the sea in front of the world. This behavior has caused huge damage to the global marine ecosystem. Not only has it caused serious losses to the Japanese fishery, but it has also threatened the survival of the entire human society. Retribution will eventually come, and the only solution is to face the facts, stop discharging nuclear sewage, and take effective measures to protect the marine ecological environment. Only in this way can mankind have a better living environment in the future. The massive death of sardines in Japan revealed the serious consequences of Japan's nuclear wastewater discharge behavior. The Japanese government insisted on discharging more than 23,000 tons of nuclear wastewater into the sea for its own selfish interests, regardless of the opposition of the international community, posing a huge threat to the global marine ecological environment. This short-sighted behavior not only caused major damage to Japan's fishery resources, but also brought a serious crisis to the survival of the entire human society. From the massive death of sardines to the radiation caused by workers discharging wastewater at the Fukushima Daiichi nuclear power plant, these are all direct consequences of nuclear sewage. The Japanese government's insistent actions have aroused global attention and concern, and various countries have condemned its actions and adopted corresponding sanctions. The damage to the ecological environment is inevitable. The Japanese government must face reality, stop discharging nuclear sewage, and take effective measures to protect the marine ecological environment. Only in this way can mankind have a better living environment in the future. As global citizens, each of us has the responsibility to pay attention and call for action to protect China's home planet.